Good evening, YouTube. Good evening. It is August 21st, 7:34 p.m. in New York on the East Coast, and we are getting ready for the Asia session. Trading some gold and gold futures tonight. Let's get things up and running. All right, it's going to be a good one. At least that's how they all start out before we've taken that trade. As Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Let me just make sure all my charts are up here and we will get things really started. Hope you're having a good day. Hope your trading has gone well. If you've been trading. All right. Just bear with me for a moment. All right. Lights, camera, action. Here we are. Good to see you. We have, let's see, what do we have going on tonight? We have, price is right now at 33.38. It has been ranging inside this box that you see here. I just noticed that my cursor doesn't show up on the screen, even though I see my cursor and I jiggle it and it makes the cursor big, but it doesn't show up on the screen that I'm sharing with you. You can see my crosshairs move. Anyway, so just follow my crosshairs if you can see those, and I will try to figure out why the mouse doesn't show up and try to sort that out. Anyway, so here we are. Price is at 33.38, and you know what? I have not readjusted my pivots for this session, and that is an absolute must. There is no room for, oh, I just won't do that today. That can never happen when it comes to the pivots. So I will do that with you here on stream so you can see how I do it. Why not? So I take it to the hourly time frame. And you know what? While I've got this happening, I think I'm going to get Zoom going. So we have any Zoom room participants who are going to show up, plus Tono, my mentor and trading partner. Let's see. Okay. Let's get that up. Okay, that's up. And here we are on the 1 hour chart. Look at that. Okay, we're pulling it all together. This is the start of today's session, which happened at 6 p.m. New York time, and this is the end of today's session that will be at 5 p.m. Tomorrow, Friday, in New York. First thing we need to do is bring our pivots over from yesterday. These do not end up in the right place quite yet, but we have to bring them over. What am I doing here? I want to clone that, and then we're going to bring that over. You can see those moving on the chart. I'm going to do the same here with the DR2. Clone that and bring it over. I'm going to get rid of the indicators here so you don't have to look at those and wonder what the hell's going on. We'll come back to those in a moment. I always go over the indicators and the analysis first thing when we start, but first things first, if my pivots aren't even in the right place, can't do anything. And my pivots for today's market aren't even set up. This is something I would normally do before jumping on the stream, and I had plenty of time to do that today, but forgot that I hadn't done it yet. But it's the first thing I notice when I get to the chart. There's no chance of me ever forgetting this. Like, there's no chance of me starting to trade without doing this. There are 11 pivots starting from top to bottom. The DR3, the DR2, the DM4, the DR1, the DM3, the daily pivot point, the DM2, the DS1, the DM1, the DS2, and the DS3. So there are 11 daily pivot points, and there are also the same 11 corresponding weekly pivot points that change every week over the weekend. And then there are the same corresponding monthly pivot points, 11 of those as well, and they change at the turn of every month. Okay, so now what we do is we go back over here to our 15-minute chart. And we can calculate these pivots on our own, but since they appear here on this weekly pivot chart, you know, why not just open it like this? Go back here, and here we have them already kind of automatically placed on this chart, and it's just as easy to read them off of this chart as it is to read them off of my spreadsheet where I calculate them by entering in the days, the previous day's high, low, open, and close. All right, so I'm going back over here. I've got this chart that I just showed you here is also displayed on the monitor to my left over here. So I'm just going to be reading them off of there as I put them in the right place. Now, first I looked at yesterday. We started here and came down. We went down, so more than likely all of these pivots, well, they're probably going to bunch together a little bit, but generally speaking, we're coming down slightly. So the DS3 is at 32.97.93. That's its new spot. The DS2 is at 33.11.42. The DM1 is at 33.18.17. The DS1 is at 33.24.93. The DM2, 33.31.67. The daily pivot point 33.38.42. The DM3, 33.45.17. And the DR1, moving that to 33.51.93. And the DM4, moving that to 33.58.67. So you see how these are calculated automatically on as one of our indicators on MT4. So it's unless I want to put them on the chart before the session starts, which sometimes I do, especially on Sunday evenings, then I have a spreadsheet where I enter in the open, high, low, and close of the week and of the day, and it calculates them for me. And then instead of copying them off of the MetaTrader, I just copy them off of my spreadsheet. Okay, DR2, 33.65.42. And lastly, DR3, 33.78.93. All right. So here we have our hourly chart. We're going to move this to a 15-minute chart so we can see structure a little bit better. What happened yesterday was, well, the day before yesterday on Wednesday, we came up, kind of leveled off, ended close to the high of the day, not quite. But then as soon as we opened, we went higher than the previous day's high, but then we came down. Right here at the beginning of the New York session, we dropped like a rock, but hit that and then bounced off of it and came up here, kind of leveled off here at the end of the day. And here we are in today's, Thursday evening in New York, Friday morning in Asia. If we look at this on that was supposed to be the 1 minute chart. If we look at this on a 1 minute chart, we have price in a box. This is our opening range of the session. We want to see price come above or below this before we start looking for trades. Right below this, right at the very bottom of this box, we have the point of control, but again, that's not today's point of control because I didn't update that either. So I'll do that in a minute. Ignore these orange lines. We're going to come back to those. We have these purple lines now, which are our daily pivots that we just entered. So right below where we are with price right now, we have the daily pivot point. Price is kind of resting right on that daily pivot point. If it breaks below, we'll have kind of a bearish tendency maybe for this session. If it stays above it, then up here we have the DM3. So price is kind of sandwiched right between the daily pivot point and the DM3. That's all we really need to know right now. Obviously, if we get into other ranges, we can start talking about other pivots. But let's go back to the 15-minute chart now and figure, actually, I want to go back to the 1 hour chart and just kind of look at where price has been again. We could probably, that's kind of been too far out of that range. I'm just going to calculate the pivots using the previous day's ranges. So we'll start here, drag it across to there, and we see that we've have our histogram that prints here. We spread it out so you can see a little bit better. We put the previous day value area high right here at this level where the histogram changes colors. You see it's kind of dark grayed out up here, but here it's in color. So in between here and here is where 70% of yesterday's volume was traded. So that marks our previous day value area high and our previous day value area low. And the point of control is this red line right out the middle here. Not necessarily always in the middle, but right where the most volume was traded, right where that histogram spikes the most. That is our point of control. If it were spiking somewhere else, almost as high, but not quite as high as there, we would probably put another line in there and call it a high volume node. But we don't have that today, so we don't need to talk about it. Now I gotta figure out where previous day's value area low was down here yesterday, way down here, but today it is right there. So that's all we need to know. Move this back to the 5-minute chart. Now let's look over here. No, this is the 5-minute chart over here. This is the 5-minute chart. This is supposed to be the 1-minute chart. All right. I'm going to go over here and look at where the dollar is. The dollar has been rising for most of the day through the New York session, then kind of leveled out, come down a little bit in the last half hour. Let's see how much it has come down. This is the 1-minute chart, so it has come down a little bit here, a little aggressively. Good to know. It probably means gold has some upward pressure on it. And same with the 10-year yield. Has been decreasing or declining, but has been pretty sideways here for the last, it looks like, hour or so. The VIX moved up a little bit, it looks like, from yesterday, but still not too elevated. 16.6. We're not expecting too many jitters in the market. And let's move back here to MetaTrader. All right, let's look at our 15-minute chart on traditional Japanese candlesticks. We had a pretty bullish start to, I guess about a half hour ago. How far into this new one are we? We're 5 minutes into it, so about 20 minutes ago. And this one has just started out kind of sheepishly bullish. Can I combine two animals? Sheepishly bullish. Like I said earlier, we're just kind of dancing on this daily pivot point, moving up a little bit from it. Next to that, we have the hourly chart, been printing pretty sideways there, and the 4-hourly as well. Although this one here did have quite a bit of movement to it, even though it closed not too far away from where it opened. The daily candle, so we had a bullish day on Wednesday. Thursday was a bearish day with a wick to the bottom side, and we've just gotten started here on Friday with barely any movement at all since market has opened. Nothing going on here with that currency chart, nothing going on here with the FX trend, mixed signals, not giving us any particular direction. And if we go back over here to the 10-second futures chart, step 1, log into your broker. All right, futures moving at a different price, but moving in tandem with spot gold. We don't see any strength differential between the US dollar and gold right now. We're at positive +3, or positive 0.3 with the dollar and positive 0.6 with gold. That's, so close that it may as well be, the same for each of them. We have about 65% of retail traders that are long, 35% are short. Hard to tell what's going on here. We've got indicators saying that we're moving sideways. We've got a couple indicators saying slightly down, a couple saying slightly up. This market doesn't know what it wants to do. So we are just going to sit back and let it do whatever it wants to do for a little while. We will observe it and react to it. Okay, as we get settled in, let's Change cameras. There we go. Right, so we are settling in to watch the charts. Okay, just gonna sit back and do a little watching. Put our feet up on the desk and just do a little watching. Make sure you can hear me. Get my microphone oriented this direction. I'm working on my entry criteria. My entry criteria has been a little bit off. I've taken some losses that I don't think I needed to have taken. We have the 8 o'clock candle coming up in about 3 minutes. Something tells me it's going to be kind of a subdued evening, but I hope not. I hope that we get some movements and we can take some trades. Otherwise, why show up, right? Otherwise, why even do this? All right, we've got 1 minute for the 8 p.m. candle. Looks like price wants to come down a bit. We are now below the daily pivot point. We are hitting yesterday's value area low right now. If we look over here on the 1 minute chart, we get rid of these indicators again so you can see what's going on. Now, price is in this kind of whited out box, so it's a little hard to see, but there's a purple line running right through there. That is the daily pivot point. Runs right through here where my crosshairs are. So we're below that now. This orange line is the previous day's value area low. We seem to be pushing through that. So we are coming out of this box, and the question is then, does it have room to go? Over here on the 1 minute chart on MT4, we see that we're running into some support right there. We can also see the same is happening here on the 5 minute chart. So this is something we don't want to trade. We don't want to trade down into that. There's a lot of chop there. A lot of chop. We can also see it if we go over here to the 15-minute Japanese candlestick chart. We see that this area right here is also a big support area, and even though price is now moving through there pretty swiftly, we wouldn't necessarily expect that. That isn't predictable behavior. I don't want to get caught in that chop. Put my indicators back on here so I can see what's going on. Well, I don't like, also on my spot account, my hedges got triggered again. That's bogus. I'm not feeling 100% tonight, so I'm not going to be taking any trades that are less than A+ setups. So we've got price that came out of our little box here on the 1 minute chart, triggered my hedges, and went the other direction again. Which I think was really rude. Another subdued night. Subdued summer night. Now we're starting to see a little bit of strength differential between gold and the dollar. The dollar being a little bit stronger than gold, but both have lost strength over the course of the last 15 minutes or so. But where things stand right now, it looks like price wants to go down. But we do have a lot of support in this area. If we go over here, we see a lot of support here on the 15-minute chart, what we call our daily pivot chart. A lot of support here on the hourly as well. And then if we go over to the other charts, on MetaTrader, we see our 15-minute chart, we've got a big support here, our 5-minute chart, big support here, and even on the 1-minute chart, a big support here. So there's nothing to trade on the way down right now. Welcome to the stream, YouTube. Feel free to drop something in the chat if you have any questions about what I'm doing here, or if you have any questions about any of the indicators on the chart. I didn't cover those today at the beginning of the session like I usually do, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Here on this channel, you watch a man try to outsmart a metal. The metal doesn't care. Feel free to also drop by the BarcelonaTrader.com, where you can, I don't know, it's just kind of fancy branding for a guy trying not to blow up another account. Grab a coffee, hang out, it's going to be fun. All of the links and information at the BarcelonaTrader.com. Won't save you from bad decisions, but it will give you fewer excuses. I could watch the 10-second chart here, which I like to do, but it's going to try to entice me into a trade because I don't see as many supports and resistances here, and they're there just the same. Okay, we are through the support zone on the 15-minute chart over on MT4. I'm seeing that. And we are pushing down through it here on the 15-minute chart, Hakanashi chart on MT4, on the 5-minute. So we're moving down. We're getting down where we might be able to place a trade to come into the Sunday open, but that might be okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay, I like this little pause here. Means we might be gathering some strength or some momentum for a further push to the downside. See that we're sitting on, okay, here we go. And away we go. We're hitting the Sunday open right now. Shouldn't have to react too much off of that. But when there's not a lot of volume in the market, it's harder to move through the levels. Hmm. Don't like the movement I'm seeing. I'm seeing gold gaining strength, dollar losing strength. So that means we might be going back in the opposite direction unless it can regain momentum to the downside here. It keeps hesitating though. Not liking to see that. Thought we were hesitating earlier. Don't like this. Don't like it. Stopped out. And that's very upsetting to me because it stopped out a number of times recently when it really looked like I shouldn't have been. And it's making me question my entries. As I said, that's one of the things I'm really working on. Tightening up are my entries. back up to the daily pivot point. Right back up to the daily pivot point. Which is, you can't really see it, but it's a little line that's running right through there. We're right there now. All right, we have 1 minute for the 8:30 candle. Okay, that 8:30 candle did nothing for us. fuck are you doing? No. I think I'm going to call it a night, YouTube chat. Nothing going on here. Trying to find a couple more trades, but nothing is showing up. So I am going to wind it down. Otherwise, I'm just tempted to sit here and trade anything that comes across my screen, which is not the right way to do things. So I will be back tomorrow morning at 7:30 for the New York session. I hope to see you then. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so that you're notified when we're coming back. I'm going to set up the new session right now. So if you stick around on YouTube for a minute, you'll see that new session appear, and you can hit the bell icon so that you're notified when we're back. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.